Today is the 1st of March, and that means for me, new car day, new car for the month. I shall do this all year, a different car every month to keep them circulated, to keep them on the road, to keep them, well, because I like to drive something different, and I can. I promised myself that Nigel would spend the whole month indoors getting scratches removed and generally looking a lot nicer, and then back out of the yard for the new month. But is that really going to be the case? I can get in this car right now, start it up and drive it out of the lockup, even though half of the interior isn't attached. I can still do that because it is MOT'd, it can drive, and it's ready to just use. But I'm not going to. This month I'm just going to use one car, and it's not this one. How about Larry the Land Rover over there, whose name is James? This car also, it is insured, it is MOT'd. All I need to do is tax it and drive it. Regardless of what I may say about this car, I do like it. I like it quite a lot. I just don't like the way it smokes or boings around like Tigger on happy pills. So as much as it would come in handy for this car to be used and seen, it's not going to be used by me. A car I would really enjoy using for the month of March would of course be this one, the MG ZS 180. But I think, you know, that's not realistic. This needs quite a few bits for its MOT, and that removed skirt there is going to give you a little indication on what's been happening so far. So I'm sure you'll agree that idea is just a bit pie in the sky. Even more pie in the sky would be Auntie Sophie, because this car has no MOT and it doesn't run, and it's absolutely drenched inside. The sunroof is open and it needs an exhaust. Silly idea that. Although my original plan was to use this car only a couple of months back. Everything was going well until it just stopped working. Not mine, doesn't work, not mine, no engine. The sensible thing to do would be just to carry on using this one because it's a diesel and it's very, very good on fuel. But that wouldn't be exchanging one car for another for the month, would it? I should just use this though. I really should. It would make more sense just to use this for the month than what I'm going to use. It definitely isn't this. Just down here we have Doris. Dented Doris. Now Doris is a very good candidate for this particular month because it needs to be used. It's full of dents, but it's a lovely driver and I could do with selling it. Plus, you know, it's economical, it's a 1.4. It's a very easygoing car. It's a car I could just use and not worry about, and probably end up selling it just because of that. And inside the lockup we have Doris's twin sister that is just a few years newer, but I can't be bothered opening the door to have a look at. So I'm going to give you a clue. It isn't that one, but it could be this one. Doris. Doris is definitely going to be a car worthwhile taxing and just using for the month. Just here we see a battery being charged in a car, and the car is green and called Christine. Now I've already mentioned how much I would quite enjoy driving this car this month, a proper early Rover 45. In fact, as early as they get. It's a press release car. Plus it's quirky, it's green interior, and it's MOT'd. So why not? Why not this one? I mean, it being parked here with the battery charging is a fairly good clue that this might be the car I'm going to use. Toby Charles. No, not Toby Charles. Although every bit of me is wanting just to keep it on for the month. There isn't a car in the yard that I would prefer to drive more than this. So that might make you think, well, why don't you just drive it then? Well, a couple of good reasons actually. One of them is that I promised I would drive something else this month, and the other is I've forgotten. My third favourite car here is this one, and who's to say that I haven't taken it into the garage and got it an MOT. What this car would really enjoy would be in my possession for a whole month, out and about on the roads and being used and dried out a bit more. It's so damp in this country that you simply cannot have a dry car unless you are using it, and this car hasn't been used, and this is probably the best example of a car that shouldn't be left doing nothing. What a lovely car this really is. Like this, which is lovely because it doesn't look like it. A couple more considerations, which you will probably figure out straight away. Fred the Shed here is a car that only me and Neil and a couple of other people actually like. I like it because it's a shed, and therefore, as precious as a fish finger butty, this car does kind of suit me. It's even the same colour as my worktop. However, the MOT's not been done on it yet, and the work hasn't been carried out, and well, it doesn't work, does it? As you can see behind me, there is a little white car called Janet Jackson. This will be perfect. L-Series diesel, economical, small, again not overly precious, just needs a little bit of welding, and that kind of gives it away, doesn't it? It's not been done yet, but actually it will be quite soon, but not today. But that's another clue. One thing I really enjoy is a double bluff or a triple bluff. I'm not sure what you've got here, but I am in a car known as Christine. That's the car I've made my mind up to take home tonight and for the rest of the month. Now, I reckon you may have already figured that one out. Back to the weirdness of CVT gearboxiness and the curiosity of the sound and the what's going on here. Have they had a bump? I bet they have. They look like they have. Not relevant to this video. Anyway, yes, back to the point of the 45 in the first place, is that when I drove Alfie the other week, it was brought back to me what an accomplished car they are to drive. They just feel really, I think the 45 is the best driving Rover. I don't think it's the best Rover. I think it's one of the most rovery looking Rovers, but the best driving Rover, and in particular in petrol form. Diesels are good, but they're just too heavy on the face, like an overly prepared lady on a night on the pull. But of course the petrol version is superbly balanced and an excellent car to drive. So this car has something about it that the diesel doesn't quite. Not only that, the MG ZS 180 doesn't have as well. This is actually a nicer car to drive, although the rev counter stopped working and it feels ever so slightly like the brakes are a bit grabby, but that could just be my imagination. So Christine it is for the month. Trip counter set, see how many miles are doing it. I reckon I'm going to go for 280 miles, and that'll probably be it. 280 miles, that's my prediction. Not that many, is it? But that's what I'm going for. What I like about this car is its proper Rover feel to it. The 45 originally was going to be a proper Rover, and this one is just a pity that years later it turned into something of a child's drawing of itself and was ruined by the lack of quality everywhere. This one I feel very much at home in. In fact, dare I say it, I'd like to keep it. Thank you for watching this video. I'm very appreciative of it. Very much indeed. Please watch more. Please watch more. And Cabbage will come along in the next video if we're not careful. Cabbage!